Hello chaps, I've prattled on about this particular Swiss Army knife many times before, and I'm always saying this knife in particular, the Victorinox Manager 58mm keychain knife, has over my many years of carrying a Swiss Army knife been my number one knife, the tool I've carried on my keychain the most, and that's helped me out most over the years, and what I still think is the best little keychain pocket tool you can have, bar none, for urban situations. We're now in September 2025 and this model was continued a couple of years ago, and you could ask, well, why are you doing a video on it now then if we can't even buy it? But you can still get them on the second-hand market, I believe, and I just want to talk about it again because I have done other videos on this model and I've just looked back at them and they're dreadful. So just going to revisit this knife, have a look at a fantastic alternative, and demand to Victorinox, why did you cancel this knife and bring it back? Victorinox Manager, this is just wonderful. I've got literally dozens and dozens of Swiss Army knives. These aren't all of them. These are the ones that are shoved in my little drawer. And I tend to alternate between choosing between these sorts of things, depending on what I'm doing, depending on how I'm feeling on the day. They're all wonderful, brilliant and amazing knives, so handy to have for EDC. But over the years I've come to realise that in urban settings there's one tool which I've consistently gone back to time and time again because of its size and functionality, and it's the wonderful Victorinox Manager. They discontinued these a couple of years ago, as I said, and I snapped up a few of them, and this one is new in its box, never been used, and I'll use this one for the purposes of this review. Look at that beautiful translucent blue scales there. Oh, there's not a lot as attractive as a brand new untarnished Swiss Army knife, is there? Look at those beautiful scales. Yeah, so there shouldn't be a single scratch or mark on there at all, and I don't think there is. You so much as glance sideways at Solidor, this plastic, and it scratches, doesn't it? But that is completely untarnished. And in the box you get the toothpick, and also in the box you get the little instruction manual thingamabobbies there. And one of the reasons I love this one is that it's just absolutely tiny. I've got a metal core stretchy lanyard clipped to one of my belt loops, and I just clip my Manager onto there. So it's always in my pocket, I can't lose it. If I need it for a task, it's on my lanyard there. If I need to whip it off, that's a quick release, there you go. It's not big, it's not bulky and heavy, but it's still super duper useful, with just about the perfect tool set for urban situations, and I think this is as close to a perfect keychain pocket tool as you can get. You get a really small but very sharp blade on these, made out of Victorinox's usual corrosion resistant, easy to sharpen steel. Blade length is about 33mm, so that's a dead diddy blade, isn't it? But stop and think. I know all us folk that are into this sort of thing, we always think we're going to need a bigger blade. Blades are quite cool, aren't they? And can be dead useful. But realistically, in an urban situation, in an urban setting, certainly for me here in the UK, we're not allowed to carry big knives. We're not allowed to carry locking blade knives. This is perfectly adequate for pretty much most of my urban cutting needs. Opening packaging, opening envelopes, cutting open food wrappings, cutting open parcel tapes. That's what I use my blade for. Not skinning a rabbit, not building survival shelters, not chopping back undergrowth, opening packages. And this blade's absolutely fine, great for that. Also, it opens the right end away from the keyring. I've got a little Alox Classic SD here, and that end, the knife blade opens as it does on the normal Classic SD. Knife blade opens the same end as the keyring, and it can get in the way. Also, if it's attached to your keyring, your keys or whatever, can get in the way. Not so on the Manager, it opens the right end away from any of that gubbins. Perfect. You get this little file tool with a textured file on there. That's all right for doing your nails or smoothing off other softer materials. Really small little slotted screwdriver on the end there. Use it on slotted screws, obviously. I've also used this to prise out paper clips for lifting up those little metal tabs on the back of picture frames and stuff like that. Used to have one of these in my pocket when I was a tiler for taking off wall socket faceplates and things like that. So a handy little tool. And you get the fantastic Victorinox scissors. These are just wonderful. Everyone knows that. I don't think I need to go on about them. Perfect for cutting your nails, cutting anything that needs a shape cutting, cutting labels out of your kids' clothes. Brilliant. The best on any multi-tool, I think, and I do prefer these in some instances over the larger 91mm size scissors because you get more precise and fine control for cutting nails and things. They're just wonderful. You also get the little combo tool, bottle opener, wire stripper, wire bender notch. The absolutely awesome #1 size Phillips screwdriver that just works on such a wide range of screws. This is just a wonderful, wonderful tool. On the side you've got the slot for the tweezers, which come pre-installed, or you can swap that out for the toothpick if you prefer. And the reason why the toothpick comes in the box there and not in the tool is because on the other side you get this pressurized pen, this little slider mechanism there. Slide it over and it slides out that pen. Pressurized pen, so it'll write over greasy paper, upside down, underwater, or in outer space for the next time you're there. And if you slide out the little combo tool there, it becomes fairly comfortable to write with. I think in an urban tool, having a pen can be dead useful. Just the other day at the post office, I got handed a load of different receipts for some returns and things that I had to make, and I used this little pen, not this one, because this is brand new, but another one on one of my other managers. I used a little pen to jot down which receipt was which. I otherwise had no pen with me, so that was useful. I've used this quite a bit, you know, jotting down my phone number for all the supermodels I meet at the top international nightclubs, you know, stuff like that. When you need to replace the pen, it just pulls out. You can still buy these, just slots back in there. Push it back in to its seats, slide it back out the way, done. Yeah, so that one and another one identical, they're both going away for my kids to have when they're a bit older if they're interested. And I have got quite a few of these, plenty of these to see me out. Some with custom scales and everything. Quite like this one that I made out of a yellow and a Silvertex scale. I think that looks cool. But yeah, just an absolutely perfect, awesome tool. And these tools are wonderful for urban settings. And I just have one question, riddle me this. Why on earth did Victorinox stop making this model? Why would you do that? And I demand that they reintroduce this one. I did do another video a while back as well saying, well, you can make one if you want the pen. You can make a manager by buying the scales, these pen scales, the little sliders and the pens. Yes, you can buy from Etsy or eBay, or you could buy a signature model which also has the pen, or you could butcher up a midnight manager which you can still buy. But yeah, it's becoming more and more difficult to get hold of these bits. So if you want to build one well, you can, I'd say. Yeah, absolutely wonderful knife. My most carried one over the years. So unobtrusive, yet so useful. In terms of power punch per square inch, this just can't be beat, I don't think. Of course, you can still get the Rambler, which has all the same tools, but you don't get the pen and the pen scale. Instead, you get the slot for the tweezers and the toothpick. So if you don't want the pen, yeah, get a Rambler. It's also absolutely fantastic. Just for me personally, I really like having a pen, and on occasion it has come in really useful. More useful, really, than the tweezers or the toothpick. Great stuff. Thanks for watching, and let's petition Victorinox to bring this one back. Yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. I hope to catch you in the next one. 58mm long, these models. Weighs 30 grams. Let's call it 31 grams. Or 1 ounce. See you later.